Wow, I've just got to have one of those.
No. No, you don't. No.
Hey, welcome back to the Woodworking Garage. In this episode, we're going to talk about all the tools that Richard wasted money on. And I don't want you to make those same mistakes, so stick around. Hey, as a new woodworker, sometimes you go out and you start buying tools you think you're going to need when you really don't need them at all. And so...
Am I doing it right?
Woo. Hey, we've got a guest in the shop today. My adult daughter stopped by, and so she decided to join me in this video. Yes, she's not 5.
That's a bit of a stretch.
She's an adult.
I'm really 21.
So she's going to help me here today. So hey, as a new woodworker, sometimes you're going out and you're excited, you see some whiz-bang tools that you think you got to have, and you buy them. When the reality is, maybe you haven't figured out exactly what kind of woodworking style and things you're going to be building, and you may not need it at all. And that's exactly what I did. When I first started woodworking and collecting tools, I thought I absolutely had to have a jointer because I thought most everyone had one. When the reality was, my skill set wasn't where it needed to be, and I wasn't ready for a jointer. And in fact, it sat here for 6 or 8 months collecting dust, and I hadn't used it at all. So I ended up selling it to get the money so that I could use that money to buy something I really did need. Another example is a dado set. I thought I had to have a dado set for my table saw, but again, I wasn't doing that kind of building yet, and I really didn't need a $100 dado set. I really needed $100 for something else. The same thing with a router table and a 2.5 horsepower router. I just thought I had to have one because they looked really cool, and I bought some bits to go with it, but the reality is I wasn't ready for that yet. And it sat here for months not being used. So the end result, I really needed other things that I couldn't afford, so I ended up selling those and buying the tools that I really needed. Now today I do have a dado set, and I use it occasionally for the type of things that I'm doing. And today I have a palm router, which I love, and I use it on almost every project, but I really didn't need that 2.5 horsepower one that I originally purchased. So here on the table I have a whole bunch of things that I purchased along my woodworking journey that I really didn't need, and I wanted to show you some of those to maybe prevent you from making those same mistakes.
Did you absolutely need this?
No, I didn't need this measuring tool. In fact, I'm not even real sure how it's supposed to work because, you know, I mean, I don't know. Waste of money.
What about these?
Yeah, these guys right here. This is probably one of the more expensive tools that I wasted money on. Now, Incra is a great company. Some of you use their tools. Some of you probably even have these. And they're great for marking out, doing layouts and marking your lines, and they can be very precise. One of the things I don't like about it is the holes. All the holes that are in here, you have to use a really, really, really fine, sharp pencil in order to make marks, and none of my pencils are that small, and it was just a waste of money. And these things right here, they were $30, $40, $50, you know, just a total waste of money.
What about that?
Yeah, this is another one. You know, with all the sanding we do, I saw this and I thought, oh great, that's ergonomic, you know, it fits my hand a little bit better. I can really grab this and do a whole bunch of sanding, but you know what? It's great for maybe a tabletop or a complete flat surface, but I've got my orbital sander for that. And for anything else that's got rounded edges and small corners and stuff, I just use a sanding sponge. This just did not work out for me as well as what I thought it would. I used it once, haven't touched it again. It was a waste of money.
I think you took an L. Getting that.
I did. I took an L to getting these. So these guys, I thought they were bigger when I purchased them online, and then when they came in real dinky, and I just don't need them. But you know, the idea was use these in order to square up, you know, 2 boards or for cabinetry or something. You can clamp it down on both sides, and make sure your boards and everything are lined up. But they're so small, they're almost useless, and it was just a waste of money. Yeah, everybody likes Craig Tool Company, and I do too. And you know they've got some good clamps, but this corner clamp, just a waste of money. You know, if you're building a lot of cabinets, you might want something like this, only much bigger, to make sure everything is squared and lined up. This was a good idea. It just doesn't work as well as what I wanted it to, and I don't do that type of building, so it turned out to be just a waste of money. And I don't know what I spent on this, but it was probably about $40. It's just a waste of money.
It was not guaranteed.
Satisfaction guaranteed. You know, this is one of the many router bits I purchased with the router table and the big honking 2.5 horsepower router. And it was, you know, for whatever, I think this was for making box joints or something, I don't remember. But, you know, something I thought was really cool. I thought, yep, I can get a lot of use out of that. And it's still in the package. I never used it. Waste of money. Coping saw, you know, again, one of those tools I thought, yeah, I could use one of those. Let's grab one of those off the shelf. And no, I've never used this one.
Didn't I get you this for Christmas?
Why, yes, Emma, you got this for Christmas. I really use this a lot in my shop. I tell you what, if you don't have one of these, you need to go out and buy one. We're keeping that. Yeah, you've seen these. You know what they're for hauling plywood around. I thought I had to have one of these when I was working with sheet goods. And
do your hands not work?
yes, my hands worked perfectly fine, but I thought this was going to make things easier for me. Fact is, you use one of those carts to carry the plywood out to your truck. You put it in your truck. When I get home, I back the truck right up to the garage and only have to walk in a couple of feet with it. And I really didn't need it after all. So it was a waste of money. It's not a cowbell, although it could probably be used as a cowbell. This corner clamp right here is, you know, it might be something I'll use at some point. It's really heavy duty. I, you know, like the idea that it's large and I can do some serious clamping with it. But as it turns out, I really haven't been making cabinets or anything like that where I needed to clamp two pieces of wood together to make sure they're square. And so it was a waste of money because I didn't need to buy it at this time. Maybe at a later date I'll use it.
Why?
Yeah, another one of those little measuring tools. I bought this to put it on my table saw so I could measure the height of the blade when I'm doing dados and things of that nature. But it's pretty gimmicky and it just doesn't work that well. So I would advise not getting one of these. There's other ones out there you could get that work much better. It's just a waste of money.
More bits.
More bits, and in fact, this one here, I don't even remember what this one was for. I don't remember. If somebody knows what this is for, please remind me in the comments below. But there's no cutting edge on it. Each one of these spin. I have no idea why I purchased that.
It looks like a topper.
It does kind of look like.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work as a top.
Useless.
It's useless. Couple more bits that I purchased for profile edges and stuff. I just thought they really looked cool. Thought, yeah, I could put that to use and grab it while I've got a little extra cash in my pocket. Nope, didn't need it at all. So money wasted.
Universal drawer slide jig.
Yeah, Rockler Jigget, universal drawer slide jig. You know, a couple of cabinets that I was making, I thought, great, this is going to help out a lot. Fact is, it's not very accurate, and it was easier for me to just cut a couple of spacer blocks to align up my drawer slides, and so that's what I ended up using. And this was just a waste of money. I used it once, and that was it. No, don't hurt yourself. A jigsaw. Now, some of you may push back on this a little bit because you may use your jigsaws a lot. This one's dusty. Not because I used it, but because it was stored close to my miter station for a long time and it kept getting covered in dust. I've actually only used this once or twice, and it was $150 at the time that I purchased it. Money wasted. I really didn't need this type of saw for the type of woodworking I'm doing. So think twice before you buy a jigsaw.
So you bought a special kit to apply your glue.
No, actually this was a gift. This was a gift, and it was a very much appreciated gift, and I used it, and now I don't. I prefer to squeeze the glue right out of the bottle that comes in And that works perfectly fine for me. I really don't need these special little applicators, a special little tip, this little roller, this little brush looking thing down here, in the special bottle itself. It was a nice gift and it was a nice thought. I used it some. Nowadays I don't mess with it all because it was just too gimmicky and I just don't use it. So think twice before you go out there and buy one of those special bottles you think you have to have.
It's a gripper.
Hey, why? You've seen these on some of the other popular woodworking channels. So you see this advertised a lot on some of the larger woodworking channels, and that's because Micro Jig will go out and sponsor those channels, and so they talk about this jig, and I thought I just absolutely had to have one, but I didn't.
No.
It's just one of those things that, they're nice, okay? Not $100 nice. My push stick that comes with my table saw works just fine. And I really haven't used this much at all. There's a lot of different adjustments on it. And by the time I get everything adjusted, I could have had the piece of wood cut with my push stick and been on my way. And so it's not something that I ever really used much at all. And it was, again, a waste of money.
Don't spend money on things you don't need.
Yes.
Lesson learned.
Yes. Step out of the screen. Let me close up. So don't make the same mistakes that I did. Don't go out and buy a bunch of tools just because they look great and you think you're gonna build some fantastic, wonderful things with them. Wait until you actually need the tool and then go and purchase it or order it online. Because you don't need to have money tied up in a tool that you're really not using when you may have a tool that you really, really do need and you don't have the cash to go get it. So hey, if you get value out of this video and maybe if I've saved you a little bit of money, give me a thumbs up. Because every time you give me a thumbs up, YouTube will take this channel and show it to somebody else. And that's how this channel grows. Hey, if you like this video, I'm going to throw up a few other videos right here to the side that you may enjoy. And if you click on those, I'll see you over there. Hey, thanks for watching.